Hi, everyone. Eric Imler, director at WXW Youth Academy. Um, Last night in our town hall Zoom, we got cut off at the end and ran out of time. The last question that was posed was, why should I choose Waxhaw in this coming year versus doing something else, going somewhere else? I've listed a couple things here to answer those questions, and I'll just run through them. Number one, I feel like experience. This past year taught us a ton. I hope for a majority of you folks listening that your experience this year was a good one. But I know through numerous conversations, emails, and other things that it hasn't been smooth sailing for some of you as well. So knowing what we know, coming into a new situation for me, a new staff, a new group of players, all those things. A lot of times I took the approach of observing and standing back and just watching and taking notes. This year, the plan is to implement change, do some things a little differently to hopefully um, make more of our membership's experience in the Youth Academy a little bit of a better one. So I think that's number one. Number two, the way we approach development. I know for a fact in all my years of coaching and being in this youth environment, a youth development environment, um, we at Waxhaw are prioritizing a different way of learning, I should say. Right. I think as I look around and I look at other coaches in other clubs and what they prioritize and what they choose to focus on in their teaching, we take a bit of a different approach. That might be for you, that might not be. You might not know what that is. You might be fully aware of how we might be approaching development compared to one of our neighboring clubs. Um, and I feel in all of my time that over time, the way we are trying to uh, train and get kids to think pays bigger dividends down the road. It's a bit unique in its approach compared to everyone else. We're a bit of an outlier, but I look at that as a good thing. Hopefully, you want to be part of something unique and not just part of something that everybody else is doing. They're taking that pool of talent, they're kind of training in the same kind of way. And in the end, hopefully, they produce the numbers that they hope to coming out of the youth academy. I feel like what we're doing is a little bit off the beaten path, but I feel like training smarter players, um, once again, holds bigger dividends for them down the road as they continue in this game. So I think that's number two. Number three, obviously, we're a smaller club. With a smaller club, you kind of go into that realm of you're not a number. Here, we know everyone. I think those numbers will be even more manageable this coming year. So, not being a number, not being a part of this massive operation has its benefits. That might be for you, that might not be for you. Don't know. Um, what I want to also mention is kind of the what we kind of put our stamp on coming into the spring season. As we as a coaching staff talked over the winter break, um, we all agreed that we want to have an identity as a youth academy. We are in a crowded part of the world in terms of a lot of soccer all around us. But what does Waxhaw? What do Waxhaw teams look like? Um, I think a majority of clubs say they want to have an identity, but fail to ever establish an identity. I want to start at the really young ages and start to weave that into the fabric of who we are as a club, what our kids are, how they think. And I think, like I said before, that carries massive dividends as they continue to mature and develop in this game. Um, Core values. I want to establish those moving forward. Yes, we talk about grit and determination and bite, and along those same lines, core values, courage, commitment, passion. Those are the things. While it's important for players on a soccer field, we also don't want to be blind to how that translates into life and how that translates into these kids and how they develop not only as soccer players but as human beings. So hopefully that's a snapshot. Hopefully I've done a good enough job of answering of why Waxhaw. You have lots of options and choices of where you want to go to get your soccer. I will say this: I've kind of said it before. We shouldn't be in a rush um, to get to where we're going. Um, like I said, you have a lot of options. You may be looking outside the club to answer to get what you feel is a better answer than what Waxhaw was able to offer this year. Only time will tell in those situations. All I can tell you is I am aware of a ton of the good that happened this year. I'm also aware of things that need some improvement and highlighting those things and hopefully being able to change the narrative and change the dialogue and address those needs and issues will be paramount, and you will experience something that is better than this year moving forward. And then each additional year, hopefully, we get better and better. If, as always, if you have any other questions or would like to speak to me directly, please don't hesitate. You know how to get me by email, by phone. Um, reach out. Reach out. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate your time. Bye bye.